Well, hi, this is Billy Crone from Get a Life Ministries, and I want to thank you for joining us for our next documentary entitled Subliminal Seduction, How the Mass Media Mesmerizes the Minds of the Masses. And right out of the gates, you can tell with that eclectic title that this comes across as yet another seemingly bizarre or outlandish topic for us to deal with. In fact, even more so than some of the other documentaries that we've done in the past. So you might be wondering naturally, why in the world are you talking about this topic at a time like this, and how does this fit in with what's going on in our world today? Subliminal seduction? Are you serious? Have you fallen off the deep end on this one? And at the outset, I would agree with you that it seems a bit far-fetched. However, as you will see, and I think eventually even agree once you look at the evidence, as wild as it appears, subliminal technology did not disappear in the 1950s like we were told. Rather, ever since then, this deceptive technology has actually been used on us right on up to this present day. And it's being used on a massive scale worldwide to manipulate, mesmerize, and control the minds of the masses for some pretty nefarious reasons, by the way. And for those of you who might not be familiar with subliminal technology, let alone its history, let's take a little stroll down memory lane, shall we?
Every day, the average American is exposed to between 4,000 to 10,000 ads. We're bombarded by them while we surf the net, watch TV, or even while walking around. But what if there were more ads, ones that we don't consciously consume? What if advertisers found a way to tap into the subconscious? For example, as I was just talking, did you see that? Ah, right there. It's just a frame long, just short enough that most people wouldn't notice.
And this is where it gets interesting, because ever since James Vickery came back in 1962, 5 years after the initial experiment, and said that the results of subliminal messaging upon people that he did were, quote, too small to be meaningful, everybody by and large in the media and advertising industries began to come out and say, right on up to this day, that this was all just a big hoax, and there's nothing to see here, there's nothing to be afraid of, and we're done and with our own experiments on this technology, and trust us, it's not true. Okay, to me personally, this is like asking the fox to guard the hen house. The very same people who could potentially use this subliminal technology on the masses for some nefarious purposes are the very same people who are telling us to trust their own so-called independent studies on this technology and take their word for it, and there's nothing to worry about, they never do this to us, and blindly take them at their word? Go back to sleep, assume it all went away? I don't think so. And that's just the tip of the iceberg with this subliminal messaging that's going on in our world today. It's not just being used by company logos, but even in company advertising. Watch these examples again from Business Insider. Right there in plain sight, whether you realize it or not. Again, from Business Insider, not my brains fell out on the floor and I can't find them anymore.tv or something like that to that effect. And did you notice they were using immoral means to get their subliminal messaging across for you and I to buy their products? And believe you me, folks, that is completely tame compared to what's really going on out there. They're doing this same immoral subliminal messaging, not only in advertising, but even in kids' cartoons. Watch these examples just from Disney.
In case you didn't know, Disney is big on hidden images, references, and even subliminal messages. Let's take a look at some of the best. At one point in the movie, Simba is having a rough time of it. As he releases a big sigh, he lays down on a cliff looking out into the night sky. When he does this, a bunch of petals shoot out into the breeze. Usually, this would be nothing but a great visual. However, eagle-eyed fans soon spotted that the petals seemed to spell out a word that should only be mentioned by adults. Known to many as the most beautiful cartoon character ever to have existed, Jessica Rabbit was introduced in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The seductive songstress had quite a big part to play in the movie, but her legacy goes beyond that. She's inspired countless Halloween costumes, merchandise, and even a makeup palette. There was nothing quite like Miss Rabbit before, and there hasn't really been anything like her since. Grown men were suddenly developing crushes on an animation. The world truly went bonkers for Jessica and continues to do so. That's why the moment you're about to see is one of the most paused moments in movie history. When the car she's in crashes, Jess is flung from the car alongside some other characters. It happens quite quickly when you play it at a normal speed, but if you slow it down, you can clearly see that Jess's dress is going everywhere. Thankfully, it's not detailed, but it's still a moment that could have been handled better. Maybe animators made the mistake of thinking that no one would slow it down to take a peep in years to come.
Whether you or your kids realize it. In kids' cartoons, why would you do that? That's sick, folks. And that's just Disney. Who knows what else is going on out there in the cartoon industry with other companies. And believe it or not, there's even more sexually graphic examples of subliminal messaging going on in kids' cartoons than what you just saw. But again, I'm telling you, in good conscience, I can't and frankly refuse to show them to you. It's appalling. But as you can see, this is really going on, folks. I'm not making this up, and it's not stopping with kids either. They not only use this graphic, immoral, adult subliminal messaging with kids, they even do it with adults as well on a massive scale. In fact, they use all kinds of subliminal techniques to purposely, emotionally, and mentally manipulate audiences for their desired effect. And most people have no clue. Get your copy of Subliminal Seduction, How the Mass Media Mesmerizes the Minds of the Masses, and take the way out before it's too late.